Hey everybody, what's going on today? We are going to make our very first attempt at a poured epoxy countertop. We're going to make this thing look like Carrara marble, and pretty much I'm just going to put out the results of whatever happens. Let's get to work. First thing we're going to want to do is put on our rubber gloves, because this stuff, from what I understand, gets messy. The top that I have down here, I actually made out of MDF. It's already been pre-primed. I will put videos at the end of this video on how I built and finished those. But today we're just going to focus on the epoxy. So this is epoxy from Stove Coat Countertops. It is a 1-to-1 mix. Basically, that just means you mix however much of this you need with however much of this. I have a approximately 5-foot square countertop. You need 3 ounces per square foot. So I'm going to mix 15 ounces about of the epoxy. I actually pre-marked my mixing container. That's my first pour. That's my second pour. Let's get started. Eight ounces of the part B and 8 ounces of the part A. Good grief, that's thick. And now we're going to mix this for 3 minutes with a epoxy mixing paddle on a drill. Okay, and that rounds out our 3 minutes with that one. Now what we're going to do is we are going to mix, since this is the Carrara marble and our base is white and our primer's white on our top, we're going to go ahead and mix in the white pigment to the main part of the epoxy. But first, we're going to take a little bit of that and set it off to the side. Right now, we're going to put in our white metallic powder. You don't have to use the entire pack that it comes with it, but we will use a generous portion, and I'll pour the whole damn thing in anyway. So, okay. Apparently, my pouring skills today kind of suck, but you know what? We're going to find out whether or not this works. First shot. Okay. Next, we are going to, wait till we're back in front of the camera and square it up. I actually put the mixing paddles, they're dripping over a trash can. Next, we're going to mix a little bit of our black metallic in with that little bit that we saved in the cup off to the side for our second step. That should be enough. We are just going to mix the black with a little stir stick. That looks nice. I like that. Okay, we're going to go for our initial pour now. And what we're going to do is we're going to pour it across the top. And I am going to use an 1/8 inch notch trowel to spread that out. And it's actually going to drip over the edges. I have everything around me plastic, so that way we won't have to worry about a mess on the floor when we're done. But I'll try to capture as much that drips off to the side back in my container as I possibly can. Oh, that's cool. We're going to work this around. Get it close to the edge. This stuff is actually pretty thick to work with. I kind of like it. So for our next step, all the instructions I said, make sure all the bristles that you can get out of your chopping brush come out of it. If you see any, they made them black, so that way, especially with like all of your white surfaces, you can see that. We are going to pre-wet the brush with a little bit of the epoxy that we have left. This is supposed to be very random. So starting with the heel and just a random area, we're just going to start chopping this thing. What this does here, this gets the lines from the trowel out of it. And we're supposed to give this a nice natural look, and it is actually working out exactly like they said it does. Going to go ahead and brush out these sides, and I'm going to chop them a little bit too. Cool thing is some of this drippage is down on the plastic below. You can go ahead and pick up on some of that. So far, I'm liking this a lot. We are going to torch this out. I don't know if you can see it, but there's little bubbles poking up all over the place. And we're going to torch it out with a propane torch. Don't stay in any one place too long. You can see them popping right for you. That's cool. Stone Coat Countertops is non-flammable and it is highly heat resistant. That is amazing watching that happen. You could leave this alone just as it is because you can actually see where I chopped that earlier and we thought there was a mistake. Next, we're going to go get our a second chop brush. This one is clean. And we're going to start chopping our black in. This is the part that I'm extremely nervous about. Where do you think I should do the veins? Should I go like this way or just kind of random see what happens? Okay. Well, then we're going to start here. Wet the brush, kind of dab a little bit off, and just start. Don't get too much on there, and just keep feathering it out. That wraps our little project up for today. We learned a few things. I need to make sure, whatever, need to make sure that you include in your square footage the sides and the bottom because I had just enough. I had to kind of stretch it to make it work. Note to self, get a better heat gun in the end. Other than that, I'm extremely happy with my very first go at this. And yeah, I'm kind of speechless. Hope everybody learned something. I sure did. There's going to be a curve to this coming up in the future because there's definitely more of this that we can do because this was really cool. I'm going to post the build for the top and the priming the top, and I'll tag them at the very end of this video. I believe I said that at the beginning, but I'll say that again now. And until next time, think outside the box and do something cool. That thing's amazing.